welcome everyone to this new and Rakisa and around. Looked it up? Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear now.
How's that?
All good.
All good?
Yeah.
Right.
Greetings of peace and a warm welcome to every one of you. On this Freedom Day, we are reminded that freedom is never simply just given. It doesn't come cheap. It's struggled for, it's protected, and it's carried forward through generations. And today we gather not only to honor that truth of our own history, but to stand firmly with those who are still fighting for it. This space that we created today is one of purpose, of solidarity, of action. It's a coming together of minds and hearts committed to justice. To open our program, it's my honor to introduce someone whose life's work reflects exactly these values. Someone who I know one day, inshallah, will make the trip to a free Palestine or to free Palestine. Raisa Hussain is an educator and a committed advocate for social justice who understands that the classroom and community are powerful spaces for change. As the Vice Chairperson of Educators for Humanity, she has played a meaningful role in advancing conversations and discussions around educational equity, human rights, social justice, and the solidarity that South Africa has with Palestine. Her work is rooted in principle, her voice in conviction, and her presence in this movement is one that continues to inspire purposeful action.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, friends, comrades, and community members. It is with deep gratitude and a strong sense of purpose that we welcome you here today on this Freedom Day 2026. Freedom Day in South Africa is not just another date on the calendar. It is a reminder of sacrifice, struggle, and the ongoing journey towards dignity and equality for all. Today we gather at the Johannesburg Sumud Flotilla Action Group, part of the broader Global Sumud Flotilla initiative. Sumud means steadfastness, standing firm in the face of hardship, injustice, and uncertainty, while refusing to lose hope in humanity and freedom. We are especially honored to host a special meet and greet and send off our local delegates who will be joining the flotilla and land convoy, as well as our dedicated ground support team. These are individuals who have chosen to take part in a global effort of solidarity, awareness, and advocacy for human justice and dignity. This afternoon is about connection. It is about sharing space and strengthening the bonds within our community. It is also about listening. Listening to the experiences, the reflections, and the commitment of those who are stepping forward as part of this journey. We will be hearing brief introductions from our Sumud delegates, our community representatives, and the Global Sumud Flotilla support team. We will also open space for discussion on how we as a collective can continue to build support, amplify the Palestine solidarity movement, remain engaged in meaningful action. More importantly, we will reflect together on the urgent and difficult questions of our time. What does freedom truly mean today? What does justice require from all of us? And how do we, as communities grounded in the history of South Africa's own struggle, respond to the call for dignity and equality for all people? We acknowledge that this is not a public meeting, and for the safety of our delegates, certain details remain protected until they are secure. We appreciate your respect, understanding, and care in this regard. To everyone here, your presence matters. Your solidarity matters. Whether you are a long-standing activist, a community member, a friend, or someone attending to learn and listen, you are part of this space of collective reflection and responsibility. Let this gathering be one of unity and purpose, a moment where we not only speak about justice, but we commit ourselves to standing in solidarity with those who need it most. Thank you for being here, for your commitment, and for your energy. Let us begin.
I think Reza very nicely put it together that today's gathering is not just a send-off. It's a moment of solidarity, a moment of courage, a moment of collective purpose, a reflection of Sumud, steadfastness in the face of oppression. And that's why it's so deeply fitting for our next speaker, who's going to be giving us an update on the Global Sumud Flotilla, who embodies this very spirit of Sumud. Auntie Firoza Mayat has worked tirelessly on the organizing team.
Sorry, I will switch the mic off, it's just too cracky.
Is that fine? Okay.
You're a teacher.
I'll project the teacher's voice. Auntie Firoza Mayat has worked tirelessly on the organizing team of the Global Sumud Flotilla, dedicating her time, dedicating her energy, and her heart to this initiative, and of course, the broader struggle for Palestine. Her commitment has helped bring this movement into our community and unite us into meaningful action. Her leadership is rooted in sincerity, in service, and unwavering commitment to justice. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if everyone can hear me. So now it's given me like a bit of time. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
If anyone can hear me, everyone can hear me. Okay, so I'm prepared today because I thought my mind at the moment is all over. It's been all over for the past more than 2 years. So I thought, let me just prepare so that I can give you the gist of the work we are doing. So we have been working for the past few months on 3 important missions that are a direct response to the call by Palestinians. And here, Comrade Hajar will tell us where this call comes from, mainly from the ANC and from other political organizations and civil societies in Palestine. These are the global and national campaigns. These missions will all take place in the next few weeks. So please keep your eyes open for the missions that are coming, the information that is associated with each of these missions. The first one, the Global Sumud Flotilla, it is a humanitarian sea corridor to Gaza. The second one, the Global Sumud Land Convoy, it's also a humanitarian corridor, but it's over land going through Libya to Gaza. The third one is a Global Sumud Energy Embargo. It's aimed at exposing complicit companies in South Africa who are responsible for exporting coal to Israel, fueling the genocide and increasing the pressure on the state to comply with its legal obligations. So many are asking, why now? Why when there is an escalation of violence across the world? When there is a so-called ceasefire in Gaza? Many have asked me personally, why, when the situation across Africa, and particularly in South Africa, is dire, with minimum access to food, jobs, health, education, and state repression across Africa, and xenophobia being an everyday challenge to millions of our people. The US-Israel war has increased the urgent call for the global movement to act now. That's the aim. To bring all citizens onto a platform for action, because the cost of inaction is larger for every country across the globe. We will have to rise and take action. Every moment that we delay and postpone, the ground lost to imperial and colonial violence becomes harder to recover. We cannot sit back and allow the rise of Zionism, right-wing fascism at home or anywhere else. Our fight against apartheid has shown us the power of people when we come together as one. We say these struggles are all connected to the imperial and Zionist agenda. The Israeli settler colony is using the cover of this to accelerate ethnic cleansing in all of Palestine through its genocidal mechanisms, expanding settlements, closing crossings, deepening the siege, budding crime scenes under the noise of a larger conflict. This is supported by corporates, political parties, and Zionists in our own country. This ground, once taken, does not return easily. We have to stand up now, comrades, family, friends. The movement cannot wait. We cannot pause. We must act now. It's a matter of urgency. What is decided now will determine the hegemony in South Africa, the powers in place in countries on the African continent, and the balance of power across the world. It will shape international law, borders, rights of civilians. It will install puppet governments aligned to the empire and much, much worse. The same weapons used in Iran, Lebanon, Gaza, the same procurement systems networks such as the purchasing of arms, ammunition, coal, gas, oil, and other resources. The same political alliances that sustain the siege of Gaza will be used everywhere, will be used in South Africa. This is a moment that demands humanity to step up collectively and without any hesitation. That is why many have been working tirelessly to plan and organize these solutions. Our direct challenge to this system is essential. Shutting down the war machine requires pressure on multiple fronts simultaneously. We are coordinating pressure to decolonize humanitarian aid on sea and on land and expose the conditions that enable the weaponization of food and all that is required to sustain life. The 3 missions that will depart in the next few days will advance direct action. Direct action. It will halt weapon shipments and dual-use products such as coal to the Israeli regime. It will attempt to expose the inaction of governments and complicity of corporates that produce arms components, advance sanctions, boycotts, and divestment campaigns targeting the military-industrial complex, mobilize cultural, academic, and sports boycotts, and attempt to force legal accountability under international law. The Global Sumud Flotilla includes 70 boats and over 1,000 people carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza. The participants are ordinary citizens, activists, doctors, lawyers, artisans, crew members, and captains. South Africa has 7 people on the flotilla. To ensure their safety, we need everyone, including government, influential people in our communities, families, friends, to mobilize around them. Share their stories and journeys on all platforms. Communicate with parliamentarians, media, and workplaces you are in. So this is a responsibility everybody here can take. Take the message. Make sure your eyes are on the participants on sea. The Global Sumud Land Convoy includes doctors and humanitarian workers accompanied by general participants. The mission is to deliver humanitarian aid and reconstruction support to Gaza. It will include over 1,500 from Africa, particularly North Africa, Europe, South America, North America, and we just heard today India will be joining us as well. South Africa will have 5 participants. They will leave for Libya on 7th of May. We must follow the journey to Gaza, carry the stories they communicate, and ensure that the world is aware of their efforts, their mission, and objectives. These 2 are humanitarian missions by civilians, doing what states needed to do many, many months ago. For these 2 missions, we have reached out to our community to assist us with funding, to ensure that we get our delegates onto the mission, to purchase the aid. We thank each and everyone here who contributed. We will need more funds to bring them back home safely. We once again depend on your generosity. The last mission is aligned to what countries across the world will be actioning in the next month. So we are aligned with what is going to be happening in Italy, in Germany, in the rest of Europe, the rest of Africa. That is impose sanctions, arms, ammunition, and energy embargo on Israel and expose the chaos, terror, and horror that the imperial countries are burdening the world with, including ecocide, with the many thousands of tons of bombs that are being dropped, in addition to death, displacement, injuries, starvation, and instability. This South African national action, which coincides with action that will take place across the world, is being planned by the Global Sumud South African team and the Energy Embargo South Africa. People from across the country are being mobilized to journey to the Richards Bay coal terminal on the 15th of May, where companies like Glencore and African Rainbow Minerals export coal to Israel. Just in the last month of April, 3 ships left our shore carrying over 150,000 tons of coal each to Israel. As you know, that Colombia and other countries have made a decision not to supply Israel with coal. However, sadly, South Africa has stepped up to meet the demand of the genocide by exponentially increasing the export of coal. We have protested over the past few months at Glencore, at African Rainbow Minerals, at many sites where we know companies are complicit. And we have submitted legal dossiers to our government departments. We are waiting for their response. This journey is to increase the pressure. For success, you will need funds for at least 1 or 2 buses from Johannesburg. We have got ships on the sea. We've got buses on land going to Gaza. We now need buses, all 15 sisters, to go to Richards Bay Coal Terminal. If comrades here can assist financially or have networks of people who can arrange the buses or the 15-seater vehicles for a successful direct action campaign, please come forward. We will be taking our tents to encamp in Richards Bay. The Richards Bay community will assist with food and other facilities. We may have to assist with funds. The task force set up are working on a program. More details will be shared as we mobilize. The final point is that the success of all 3 missions, we need everyone involved across class, age, gender, and religion to step up. Please contact PSA through myself, through see Fatima is here, Sunny, Nazim, Ismail, Nurain. So I think you know all of these people, Uncle Chomi, Ismail Mullah, Majid. So there's a lot of people here from PSA. Contact them. You can always write to us on our email address, which is info@palestinesa.com. For any .co.za. If there's any ideas you have, any way you want to contribute to these 3 missions, please let us know. I just want to also close off that we have a really brilliant play which is going to be launched in South Africa before it goes throughout the country, which is called Palestine, My Palestine at a Fatida Hall. Purchase your tickets, be there. So in any way, we may all not be able to go to the ship, we may all not be able to go to the Rafah crossing through the land convoy, but we all can contribute in some active way, not just on your phone posting. Let's do much more. Let's do much more with the action that certain organizations here are doing in South Africa in terms of our own service delivery, in terms of mobilizing our communities to make sure we respond to the demands of our people. So with that, I'm going to introduce you both to Ebrahim Peters, who will be on the flotilla, and Mogamed Faeek, who will be on the land convoy. There are another comrade who will be coming from London. She's on her way. She's here. She's on her
Sit in the back.
Okay, this is Jessica. She's joining the land convoy as well. We have comrades from KZN as well as Cape Town who will be joining the sea convoy. So there you have it. I say, Amantra! Amantra! Thank you, comrades.
Today we are not just gathered in solidarity, we are standing at the edge of action. There are moments in history when words, no matter how powerful, are no longer enough. When marches, posts and prayers must be carried forward by something more, by people willing to put their bodies on the line for justice. Today, we are in the presence of such people. The members of the Global Sumud Flotilla are not only speaking about resistance, they are embodying it. While many of us continue the struggle from where we are, they are taking that shared duty and carrying it across borders, across waters, into spaces where silence has too often been enforced. They go where it is difficult, they go where it is dangerous, but they go where it is absolutely necessary. They carry with them not just supplies or messages, they carry us, our outrage, our hope, our unwavering commitment to justice. They are the reminder that solidarity is not passive, it is active. And at times, courageous and deeply personal. As we welcome them today, let's do so with full hearts and clear intention, knowing that we are witnessing people who have chosen to act when action matters most. Joining these brave representatives of courage, conviction, and collective responsibility. Mogamed Faeek, Ebrahim Peters,
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon everybody. My name is Mohammed, I'll be 22 in June. I'm from this community, from LENASIA, born and bred, proud as well. Not my leader, but someone who refuses to be silent in the face of injustice. Today is a day that reminds us what it means to fight for dignity, justice, and true freedom. As South Africans, we understand struggle. We understand what it means to love under oppression. But we also understand the power of standing together and saying enough. And that's why I'm here. I'm doing this for the next generation. I want a free Palestine for my nephew, for my niece, and for all future children that I see here. I want them to grow up knowing a Palestine that is politically stable, safe, and thriving. A Palestine where they can experience its beauty, its people, its culture, and its strength. A Palestine known for its olive oils, its dates, its lands, its history, not for war, suffering, and destruction. I don't want them to only learn about Palestine through pain. I want them to know it through life. And I also stand here with great gratitude. I would not be here without the support of my family, my friends, the PSA, the Global Sumud Flotilla, and every single person who has supported me along the way. Your guys' encouragement, your belief, and your sacrifices have carried me to this point. I am truly grateful, and I carry all of you with me in this journey. Because one day, the next generation will ask us, what did you do when this was happening? And I want to be able to say, I stood, I spoke, and I showed up. So some of us are taking that stand through the Global Sumud Flotilla or the Land Convoy, not for recognition, but to remind people of Palestine that they are not alone. But this responsibility is not only on those who travel, it is on all of us to speak, to act, to stand firm in injustice, because solidarity is not a moment, it is a responsibility.
Okay, I don't know how to go on. My name is Ebrahim Peters, born in Cape Town, but for the most of my life I've been living in Innerville in Johannesburg. I'm honored, I am humbled to be part of such a big mission. I've been an activist for many years. From 2011, I see some of the comrades here. So, with the Africa One Aid convoys, when my love for Palestine really kicked in. I've been doing it since I was young, but I really learned what is happening in Palestine. And for years and years, going to conferences all over the world. And then last year, I took the first step with action when I went to the Global March for Gaza, where I was detained and deported from Egypt, the complicit country. And for me it was it hurt me very much because I studied in Egypt for 5 years. So for them to treat me like that and send me home, it hurt me.
Because it's a cope, it's sensitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a
Government of the country.
So when I got home after being deported, I watched the Sumud Flotilla over and over. And when I heard they were arriving after being detained in Israel, I went to the airport and I stood there. And the only thing I could say to myself was, the next flotilla that leaves, I'll join you. We thank anti-terrorism, LENASIA, the PSA, for all the work they do behind the scenes that no one sees. We say thank you to everyone else at TEP, and keep your eyes on the flotilla, because with this time, we're going to make it.
I naively didn't realize we were saying anything wrong. My name is Jessica Brakey. That is my mom, Wendy. Thank you so much for... I told her she looks like Palestine Barbie today. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your community. It's really such a privilege to be here. I've just finished my PhD, which was on migration across the Mediterranean, sort of between Libya and Italy. And so I think about the sea, and I think about the Mediterranean, and I think about the struggles that people do across Africa and across the world to make life good in the face of just ongoing genocide and oppression. I am so privileged to be able to go on this mission as part of the land convoy. I originally was going on the flotilla, but I think when you have an opportunity like this, you go where you are needed, wherever that is. I actually had taken my niece on Saturday to the Apartheid Museum, and that's when Feroza called me to tell me that there was a change of plans. And at that moment, I was literally looking at a photo of Ruth First, and I just felt, you know, like this is high discipline, and you go wherever you are needed. I feel that my mom and I both share this, a very specific sense of responsibility to Palestine, not just because we are South Africans, but I think specifically because we are also white South Africans. We know what it means to be on the other side of an oppressive system of power. And I think that is something that I think about all the time when it comes to the Israelis, is they do not realize the damage they are doing to their own souls. And that damage is something that we continue to work through, and I think that inshallah everything will be fine and we will all be safe, but I think that there is sometimes no greater sense of solidarity and responsibility than putting your body where it needs to be. So thank you so much for having us, and we are very, very happy. I know that Rosa been but for real, like it has been a really wild few weeks with things happening, and you know, the comrades in the north, they are amazing, and they're also putting it, they don't understand the realities of living in the global south. They don't understand the realities of being in Africa and dealing with visas, and we have many black comrades and comrades of color that are going on the flotilla, and we know that the IOF is racist, and we know what they will do to vulnerable bodies. And Rosa has just been, the whole team, that she has just been so steadfast and supportive the whole way, and we are truly.
I've got goosebumps. And there's so many things that I want to say, and so many questions that I want to ask, and I'm sure everybody else sitting here, there's something that they want to say or something that they want to ask to our delegates. And so we're going to open up the floor to questions to our delegates and our friends. Even if it's just a message of support.
It's a message of support. Mohammed's my only son. He always wanted to be a support of Palestine. You know, go and try to do something good for them. And when he got this opportunity, I told him go for it. Because you never know when you're going to get this chance again. Although, as we all know, you're going to get detractors, you're going to get family that's going to support you, you're going to get family that's not going to support you. But not only well done to him, well done to every person who is going, as well as to the Flotilla Committee, the PSA Committee, to get this together and letting South Africa go to Palestine. And as Mandela said, sorry, sometimes I get my words mixed up. South Africa will only be free if Palestine is free.
Anybody else?
Yeah. There's a young girl here. This is our leading activist at all our demonstrations. I see the teacher influence.
At my young age, a lot of the time when I do bring up Palestine or talk about it, mainly the adults and people would say that to leave the politics and just be a child. But what would your guys' advice be to the younger children to actually speak up about what's happening?
I'm very brave, I'm not that young. I don't know, the protests that happened in the West Bank, I think it was last week where the IO put up all the fencing and all the kids went with their books and had that, I mean that was just such an incredibly heartbreaking but incredibly moving image. And I mean, Rosa and I have spoken a lot about why Palestine means so much to us. And I think, you know, it means a lot to people for different reasons, but I think for us it's because all these systems of oppression are all connected, right? Rosa has WhatsApped you in the last year, you can see the status. Gaza is the epicenter of the world. But that I think rings so true, and so I think it's, you know, being a young person who cares about Palestine is being a young person that cares about your own future, about the kind of human you will be, the kind of life you will live. You know, it is the center of so much because it impacts so much, and I mean, especially now, I think, you know, the eyes are sort of off Palestine because everyone is now talking about Iran. But it's obviously connected, and I think the fact that what the US and Israel are doing in Iran impacts working class people in this country who cannot afford transport to get to work, because, you know, like everything is so connected, and I think being a young person who cares about Palestine is just being a young person who cares about the world, about making a more human world.
If I can get to that, so I maybe started my love for Palestine when I was your age, maybe even younger. I remember seeing a picture of a young Palestinian boy throwing a rock against a tank. And that's when my love for Palestine came in. If a child can stand up to oppressors like that, then I don't think so it's a talk of politics. It's a talk about humanity. And for us to just stand up at your age, being a primary school student, it shows wonders. And if every one of us can empower our children to take a stand for Palestine and take a stand for what's right, then the world entirety will become a better place.
Hajar to respond as he's an educator of young people.
Hajar is going to speak just
I don't
now.
know, just to this question around how in Palestine, so in Gaza as in West Bank, there is no separation between the personal and your active life in the political space. Maybe Hajar, 2 words.
Later on, when you speak.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
Thank you.
I think I've got one question.
Yeah.
To us, I feel it seems, or it is, that we sending you on behalf of all of us. And I want to know, what does it feel like to carry that sort of responsibility with you? Anyone?
That's a big responsibility. It's carrying the weight of a nation, of our communities on our backs, carrying the message that comes from here. So it's an honor. It feels like an honor to be that person that was selected to do that. And I think that whatever you guys need to say, or you want to say to the people of Palestine, when we do reach there, we will convey it.
So what Sia Khaleesi says, what pressure is a privilege. That's what the Springbok said, it's true. And I think we're also aware of it. We have fears and worries and concerns, and I think that's completely normal, and we process them quite quickly. But it is such a privilege, and it's a privilege because of where we're trying to go, and it's a privilege because of where we are departing from.
So, I really admire you guys. We're all fighting for the struggle. We feel it, we see it, we see the images. We all want to be there. And we all say, put me on a plane, I want to go. But to actually accept the invitation and go, it's incredibly brave and courageous. Because you know who and what you're leaving behind. You know the dangers of being there, especially now. So, I want to say to you guys that yes, we will all be invited. I know every one of you made an intention to go to be there. And that intention got accepted, but you also had to say, yes, I will go. So, to me, I feel that we all want to go, but you got chosen. So, that is actually a wonderful privilege that God knows you, each one of you, and there's so many people going. You all have a purpose. So, I think it's very important when you're going now to know what you're leaving behind, but also to know and to keep clear in your mind, because emotions can get the better of you. To focus and know that, God, this is my purpose, accept my intentions, make those intentions before you leave. Think about what you want to do, how you want to do it, because God listens and He accepts it. I mean, we know our reward comes from our intentions, not from our actions, and He will action those intentions for you. So go with the best intentions. And pray for us, like we're going to pray for you, pray for us too. Pray that we can be active, pray that we can, in our little way, whether it's giving a donation or whatever, that our intentions get accepted too, because all our hearts are there. And you're going to be representing us. And I'm so proud that you guys are. It's amazing from our community, Mogamed, it's wonderful. And that your parents and your families are letting you go. I wouldn't be able to, I'll be honest. I want to, I would love to. But I have all this responsibility. You guys are leaving that behind. So all the best to you, Godspeed. We wish you well. We wish you achieve everything that you hope to achieve. And hopefully it's going to contribute to Palestine. So thank you. My name is Shireen. I've been a veteran of the PSA, maybe in between young and old. And I think as we're going through this journey with the very brave people, there are many people that needs to be acknowledged, particularly within the PSA. So I want to start by acknowledging Vijay, the background work that he's always done for the last 25 years. Hasi, and even the younger ones, so many that are sitting here, Sumaya, all PSA people that are sitting here, Sunny sitting here, doing amazing work, not only for humanity, but also keeping the flag of PSA alive.
Having said that, just some housekeeping issues. One of the things that we need are funds. And we appeal to people to really dig deep into their pockets and help us keep not only these 3 projects alive, but also the other future projects we're going to have and continue to have as we go along. So that's an appeal from me personally and on behalf of the PSA.
I think we're going to take one closing comment from our delegates sitting up front. And,
it's good to see that we want to engage in conversation around this, and so there will be a platform for this. It will be up on our social media platforms where we can engage in exactly what's happening on the Global Sumud Flotilla.
One question.
No, that's not really happening now. No.
I just want to know if in the workshops to serve you.
Yes.
What we expect and what
Yeah.
is there.
We've had lots of training.
I just want to know.
And I just want to say one important campaign that is really, that everyone needs to work on as well is the Free Political Prisoner campaign. We have our Free Marwan Barghouti campaign. We've just learned now that our president has endorsed it. So, and it's the only president, the sitting president in the world who has endorsed this program, this campaign. So we should be proud of our country. We should be proud of the organizations who are working on the Free Political Prisoner campaign. Or Palestinian prisoner campaign. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everyone as well.
Actually, on the way here, in the car, I was speaking to my parents, my sister, and I was just utmost gratefulness for the support system I have. All of you guys here, you guys are our support system. Sending us on that mission, sending us what that support is such a great comfort. The people of Palestine don't have a support system. They don't have a family to rely on. They don't have a PSA to rely on. So you guys just being here, being able to give us a voice to speak on, and being our support system, I'm highly grateful for it. I think so without the support system, I wouldn't have been able to go as far as I have and go for this mission. So I'm truly grateful for the PSA, my family, my friends, every single one of you guys here. Truly from the bottom of my heart, I have the utmost gratefulness for you guys.
I share the same sentiments that you commented. We are really grateful. If we don't show it enough, we are. So everyone that came out today, for my family, my girls. Yeah. So yeah, we are very grateful. And one thing I want to say is keep your eyes. It's also media, follow us everywhere. Keep your eyes on the flotilla. Keep your eyes on the main convoy. Because the more eyes that are on us, the safer we are.
In one of the trainings that we did, it was quite a horrific training, to be fair. It was on how to prepare yourself for the violence of the IOF in detention. And one of the things that they said to us is that when you're in that moment, the way to protect yourself is to safeguard your soul. And one of the ways to do that is to remember always why you are there. And I've been thinking about that a lot. But also just to say that, you know, it's by land and by sea Palestine will be free, but it's also by every donation, by every email, by every convoy, by every embargo, by every BDS, you know, it's on every terrain Palestine will be free. And I think that we all carry that with, you know, all the work that's going on for this much longer, much bigger movement. And yeah, I think it, just on a personal note, just means a lot to me that my mother is here and that she is very proud of me for me. Because I know a lot of parents wouldn't be, and so yeah, thank you.
Okay, we will move. Okay, can I just say something? You mentioned your mother, Mohammed mentioned parents. Now as a parent, when your child goes into a war situation, a situation where there is danger, there's great concern. Now my son was 2 weeks at NASA Hospital in Gaza. So when at the airport, when he was about to leave, the European hospital was bombed. And information that the European hospital was bombed and they will be diverted. And then I got a WhatsApp message to say, and this WhatsApp message said that if you enter the lion's den, expect to be mauled. And when my son said to me he's going to Gaza, I didn't say anything. I couldn't say, as an activist, as a parent, say, hey, you can't go. It's hypocritical. You're a parent, you're an activist. And I said, okay. But when this message came, I showed it to him. And then his reply was, he said to me, you, as a Muslim, your day, the day of your leaving this world is set. So if it is meant to be in Gaza, then so be it. So all of us, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, we are leaving this world. So at least if we go out there and do something, and he felt he had to do something, and he went. He doesn't speak much of what happened, and he don't need much. He doesn't speak much of it. He wants to go back to his house. Muhammad, your father, your mother, I know you, as parents, you're concerned. Your fear is there. But also be proud of the fact that at least, you know, we're doing something. There's 3 types of people in this world. There's the vast majority, as they say, that will watch and do nothing. The large number will ask you, Muhammad, what did you do after it's done? And the few, like yourself, who will do something.
One thing I can tell you, Alhamdulillah, I'm sending him with a clean heart and not 1 ounce of fear.
Takbir!
Okay, as we continue building this collapse, okay, one more.
Sorry, I'm late with my question. I just want to commend each one. You're the peak of a mountain of inspiration. And my advice, when fear grips you, resist, lest you become a celebrated martyr that dies a cow.
And then one of our media interviews, the Greta, she's our media coach, she asked me, do I have fear in me going for this mission? And I can tell everyone here at the clean heart, I have 0% fear in my heart. What fear is waking up in the morning and not knowing if you're going to be executed in the evening. That is fear. What I'm doing is not bravery. It is the need as a human to go out and give aid to the people.
And today we're also collecting some content. I'm going to support them and stuff as well. She's still got a second part of the program.
We now turn to a message that comes from the heart of community. Through Chef Ebrahim Peters, we are connected to the voices, struggles, and unwavering support of the Ennerdale community. It is with great honor that I call upon Mulana Shakir Baker, who will deliver a message of support from the Ennerdale community.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Firstly, I want to say to Nadia that it gives me goosebumps. Ebrahim is here. When in 2012 we departed from South Africa with a mission to Gaza, and when I came in, the first thing that hit me was the Cape Africa 18 convoy to the Gaza, and I'm privileged and honored to have been part of that delegation, have entered Gaza in August of 2012. So the message that I want to bring to you guys, particularly to the youngsters here today, is clear that I was molded by the elders. And I was 31 years old when I entered the Gaza for the very first time, and it is a memory I think that we will remember for many years. I was very young. If I look at some of the photos of those years, and I remember it was so I got meat on me today. I was young, but the message is go with the commitment that you are taking the flag of South Africa. You are carrying the courageous flag of freedom. And our flag does not represent anything else but the flag of freedom. You are going with the commitment of freedom fighters that come after you or has left this world that is there for your support. The message I wanted to bring was Sumud steadfastness that was delivered already. But I want to say that Gaza matters not only to you but to many of us. For over 30 years that I've been part of a liberational struggle for a free Palestine, I say to young people, and my daughter I have named Qutsia because I believe the liberation of the Palestinian people will come in our lifetime. I believe that you do not only carry aid with you, but you carry the awareness of the South African community and the commitment to a free and liberated Palestine. The human dignity that goes with it, Ebrahim Mohammed, is not a message that just goes lightly. I want to tell you today that the greatest fear is not to enter Palestine, but the greatest fear is to walk and actually enter. When we were discussing Ebrahim outside of him, we asked, does Ebrahim know what he's going into? And that's the question, does Ebrahim actually know and understand what he's going into? And I remember I was freshly married, 3 years married, I had a baby, and I think at that stage, as the land convoy left Zimbabwe, we were going to leave Zimbabwe, challenges is going to face you, families are going to tell you, oh, you are leaving your children behind, you are doing this, you are doing that. But the greatest commitment is if you say to yourself, I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for a child in Gaza. I'm doing it for someone in Palestine who requires us to rise. Most important is that this is beyond our race. It has nothing to do with the color of our skin. It has nothing to do with our religion. But it has everything to do with humanity. To those who are going on this, you carry not only supplies, you carry hope. You carry not only assistance, you carry a message that Gaza has never been forgotten. Your courage inspires us to renew our commitment and renew our strength. Palestine and Gaza will be liberated. You carry a message of a people, in spite of others not understanding the big, huge word of genocide. I want to tell you today that we understand genocide. And we will define genocide on your sacrifice that you are making today. Go with the message of Nelson Mandela that indeed our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of Palestine. And I want to say that when I was in Gaza, the youth of Gaza is what inspired us, particularly when we visited a place or a group of organizations called the House of Wisdom. They gave us a message, and that message was carry the Palestinian flag where we go. And I'm saying to you, carry it. And those of us who's remaining behind here today, we have a bigger responsibility, and that responsibility is to ensure that they know that they got people behind them in South Africa. Thank you.
It's really an honor for us to introduce our next speaker, Professor Hajar Ahjum, who joins us as a voice from Gaza. And that alone carries so much weight to put into words. He's not only an academic and a writer, but someone who's living the reality that we speak about every single day. And as a professor and long-standing activist, he has spent years speaking out for justice, challenging the injustices, and reminding the world of its responsibility. But what makes his voice all the more powerful is that it comes from a lived experience. It's coming from within Gaza itself, grounded in resilience, in dignity, and unshakable commitment to freedom. And it's at a time like this that we don't just need analysis. We need truth, we need perspective, and we need voices that are going to keep us anchored in what really matters. So we're deeply honored to hear from Professor Hendricks.